The sound of her laughter shattered the stillness of the house, sharp and foreign, like a melody that didn't belong in these walls. I stood rooted in the kitchen, the edge of the counter digging into my palms, as Sarah's voice drifted in from the living room. She was speaking softly, a private tone, low and intimate, the kind of warmth I hadn't heard directed at me in what felt like forever. "You're awful," she teased, her words laced with playfulness, almost coy. I tried to convince myself it was harmless. A coworker. A friend. Just an innocent moment. But my chest tightened, a knot of unease pulling tighter with every sound. Trust, once a constant, was now something fragile, unraveling thread by thread. Our marriage had been fading for a while, like a favorite sweater snagged until it slowly came apart. Her late nights at the office, the distracted way her eyes skimmed over me, how she stopped reaching for my hand when we lay side by side. I excused it all, stress from her promotion, exhaustion, pressure. Every morning I stirred cream into her coffee, whispering to myself, she's just tired. Things will get better. But that laugh? That wasn't for me. It belonged to someone else, and it hollowed me out inside. I forced myself to walk into the living room, the floor creaking under my steps. She was curled on the sofa, her cheeks flushed, phone pressed tight to her ear. She didn't notice me at first, her eyes glowing with a light I hadn't seen in months. When she finally glanced up, her smile faltered, just a flicker, before she masked it. "Gotta go," she said quickly into the phone, her voice suddenly brisk, businesslike. She ended the call and tossed the phone onto the cushion, too casual, too quick. "Work call," she offered, locking eyes with me. They were steady, but something flashed there, guilt or maybe defiance. "Who was that?" My voice was quieter than I meant it, as if I feared what the answer might be. "Just Mark from the office," she replied, straightening her skirt. "We're finalizing tomorrow's pitch." Her tone was smooth, well practiced, but the explanation didn't fit. Mark. The name landed hard in my stomach. I'd met him once at her holiday party. Tall, magnetic, the kind of man who pulled everyone into his orbit. She'd laughed at his jokes then too, her hand brushing his arm just a little too long. I'd brushed it off at the time. I always brushed it off. The days that followed grew heavier with suspicion. She kept her phone close, its screen flashing with messages she angled away from me. She slipped out to take calls behind closed doors, her voice muffled but unmistakably warm. I started noticing the things I used to overlook, the faint whiff of cologne clinging to her scarf, the way she lingered in front of the mirror, fussing with her hair in a way she hadn't done for years. Each detail was a needle prick, small but piercing, until the weight of them was unbearable. One night I couldn't stand it anymore. I waited until she was asleep, her breathing steady, and reached for her phone. The code was still our anniversary, an irony that stung deeper than any lie. The screen lit up, revealing her messages with him. "Can't stop thinking about you. Meet me at the usual place." My hands trembled as I scrolled. Each word blurred as tears filled my eyes, ones I hadn't even noticed falling. Photos too. Her smile, his arm wrapped around her shoulders. Moments of a life that didn't include me. I wanted to shake her awake, scream until the walls shook, demand to know why, but all I could do was sit there, the phone heavy in my hands, my heart splintering in silence. The next evening I set the phone down on the kitchen table, her messages still open on the screen. When she walked in and saw it, her face went pale. "It's not what you think," she began, but her voice broke before she could finish. "Then what is it, Sarah?" My voice came out raw, shaking with grief and fury. "Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me you're not in love with him." Her lips parted, but she said nothing. That silence spoke louder than any confession. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she whispered finally. He sees me. He listens. You don't." The words cut deep. 10 years, Sarah. 10 years. I gave you everything." She cried, her shoulders trembling, but the tears felt selfish, like they were for her shame, not for the destruction between us. The next morning she was gone. Her suitcase was packed neatly, with a precision that felt like another wound. I didn't stop her. I couldn't. Months passed. Then one evening she appeared at my door. Her eyes were red, her voice fragile. "He wasn't who I thought he was," she admitted, her words quivering. "He used me. I made a mistake." She reached for my hand, desperate, but I pulled back. "You made your choice. I said, my tone steady now, cold in a way it hadn't been before. I won't be your second option. I closed the door before she could answer. Her sobs echoed faintly on the other side, but I didn't open it again. The house was quiet once more. Only this time the silence felt like release, like freedom.